Is it time for a new virus to be introduced into Resident Evil? As we all know, the viruses play a huge role throughout Resident Evil, and the last time that we saw one was in Resident Evil Revelations 2 with the T-Phobos virus developed by Alex Wesker as one of her steps towards reaching immortality. That was the last one that we got from a release standpoint, but from a canonical standpoint, it was the C virus during Resident Evil 6. But either way, it's been a while since we've seen one. Since then, it's been all about the mold and the Megamycete and everything going on during 7 and 8. But I do feel like we are due for a new virus, and I think Resident Evil 9 is where we will most likely get one. Especially because if we don't get one in 9, it will be the first trilogy that doesn't have any sort of progenitor based virus in it. We've always had one because the first trilogy, of course, was all about the T and G virus. The second one, it did take a little bit of a break from viruses in 4, with parasites being introduced with Los Plagas. But then with 5, we did still have the Plaga, but Ouroboros was there as well, and that was a virus. And then 6, we got the C virus. So we've always had viruses introduced, and so it would be very unfortunate if this trilogy just didn't have one because of how impactful they are and how iconic they are. I would really like to see one. But based off of how Resident Evil 8 ended with the BSAA and their bioweapon looking a lot like a zombie, it does feel like Resident Evil 9 is leading towards a good shot at having a new virus be introduced. And it's being developed more than likely by the BSAA, and they've created something. And so I'm looking forward to that because there's a lot of potential with it. I really like all of the viruses. They've always been very interesting to me. My favorite is still the T virus just because of the classic zombies. You got hunters and lickers, crimson heads, giant snake monsters. I mean, there's just so many cool things with the T virus, but they've all been great. The G virus is cool because of William Birkin and his multiple mutations, and the Co-Veronica virus, the T-Phobos, the T-Abyss. Even the C virus is really cool. Even though that game is highly underrated, I really do like the C virus because of the many different bioweapons that it created and everything. It was just really cool. So the potential for a new virus is just limitless because there's so many different little things they could do with it. They could even have it where it gets combined with a sample of mold and create some new hybrid thing, and maybe it's like the M virus or something. I mean, there's just so many possibilities as to what they can actually do with it, and so I'm just really interested to see it. And I would love to see another Tyrant model be introduced, and I'm thinking it's going to be about Chris and his Hound Wolf squad. You know, Resident Evil 9. I'm just assuming it's going to be about Chris and his team investigating the BSAA of Europe and seeing what's going on. And if I had to guess, in classic Resident Evil fashion, whenever they get there, it will probably be an outbreak because whatever they were experimenting with probably leaked out and caused an outbreak within the facility, and so now zombies are running all over the place, and maybe if we're lucky we'll get to see classic hunters and lickers again, as it's been a while since we've seen them canonically as well, since they've only really been appearing in the remakes and stuff. So that would be really cool to see all of that once again, along with some new stuff. Because like I said, maybe they get a sample of mold and they combine it with this new virus, hypothetically, and we get something out of that. I don't know. I mean, there's just, like I said, so much potential with what they could do. I'm just really interested to see what direction it takes because I really want to see a new virus. I want to see where it could go. And another reason I think a virus is due is because with the Shadows of Rose DLC that is coming out next month, I think that's wrapping up the Rose saga, or not the Rose saga, the Winter saga. I think that's wrapping it all up, and we're going to be done with the Winters after that. And if that's the case, I think that also kind of means that we're going to be done with the mold as well, for the most part. I think that means that won't be the primary thing causing outbreaks anymore. We're going to move on to something new, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially when you consider that in 8, the primary megamycete was destroyed. Chris put a bomb in it and Ethan detonated it as he sacrificed himself. So the primary megamycete is gone. Now the only like remainder of it is whatever is going on with Rose, and we'll see what happens with that once that DLC drops. But I'm assuming that that will be the end of the Winters, but also the mold in general, which will open the door for something new, hopefully a virus, to showcase itself in Resident Evil 9. Now, when that comes out, who knows? You would think after Resident Evil 4 Remake, but it could be even further down the road from that. It could be after 5 gets remade if they decide to do that, or maybe they finally go and do Code Veronica remake, or even a Revelations 3. But who knows? Now, if they do a Revelations 3, that could also be a door to lead to a new virus as well, as they could engineer some new thing there, which takes place between like 7 and 8 or something like that, or 8 and 9, and we get to see what's going on there with the Revelations 3, and it's a new virus going on there. So tons of potential, but I am curious to see when we will, if we will, get a new virus. I'm excited for either way. I will go ahead and end this video here, and I shall see you all on the next one. See ya then.